Well, try mic 1 2 1 2. Try mic 1 2. Yeah. Good morning. Happy New Year. We've entered 2019 and we are continuing with our tutorial. You've been following, that means you know we already have a couple of them in the channel already. Search web extremists. I have two of the channels, the one about data entrepreneurship and the other one is about computer science, especially the programming aspect. And we are to continue the database today. We have keep quiet. There are some of them here that if interested you can go through. But today we will look at view, procedure, and then function. These three. I hope the time will permit. It's 11:35 now, 12:35. We have less than because around 1:15. Today is Friday. You have to stop and go for prayer. So let's see what we can do before that time. We're starting with view. If you check the videos here, I already have one on view using MySQL, but today's one will be using SQL Server. MySQL SQL Server, that's Microsoft SQL Server. I have a video here already that explains what those things are. MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, and then they say Oracle. These are different types of database management system, but they all use SQL. Though they can implement some features differently, but basically they all use it. So straight away, let's go to the view. So let's launch a database management system. If struggling to define what a view is, but I'm sure with example we'll be able to know what it is. Don't close right now. So we don't want this database. We want to use the Northwind database and see this from employee or just employees. Let's see that we have there. Okay, we're using this. Let's see what definition we can give for the YouTube videos are also on my site here. You scroll down somewhere here. Yes, they are here. These are them. Introduction to the internet. This is part 1, part 2. Introduction to search engine optimization, internet online business, is it profitable? These are different videos. What is view? Okay, it's a virtual table. That's the word I made. A virtual table. What makes it a virtual table is basically like a table, but it doesn't exist on your, if I say your hard disk. It's basically except delete, insert, delete, insert, update, update. These three things, you can use them on view. First, we've seen view, just virtual table or fake table, or yeah, something like that, but you can't delete, you can apply delete on view. You can apply, though it's behaving like a table, but you can apply delete. You can apply insert. You can apply delete, update. But wherever, aside this, wherever you have to use table, you can use view. Take a typical example. We have this employee. Let's say we don't want to see all these columns. We just want to see we know this all means everything, so we are taking that one off, and then we want this is e dot employee ID, e dot last name, and then e dot first name, e dot title, and then e dot courtesy. Yeah, so let's say this is the only ones we want to see, not all the columns. You just want to see this. Now I can turn this one to a view. I will just do create view, then let's see, let's call it employees summary as is created. Now this one is behaving like a table now. This name I've given to the view. I can see select all from this, and that's all. It's just like running this. Well, from here to here, this will give you the same as this. Basically, that is view. So what are some of the like circumstances, or like what triggers the need for view? We've seen one right now. If you have columns, you don't want all the columns to show, you just want some small portion, then you can use view to create to list only those columns and then wrap a name around it, and then you'll be using just that. Now, for example, this is how your table is. The employee, you have this, you have this, you have this, you have this, you have this. But take, for example, if you're generating a report, you might want to get the person's name, like let's see this one. You don't want it to stand separate like that. It should be let's say DAVO Nancy, something like maybe Miss. You want to see the person's full name, not like last name, first name, or maybe other name. That is how it is in the table. But in reporting, you want to see the full name. So in that case, let's take away this. So we just say drop view, and then if you run it, this one is off. So now this one this is the original code we wrote, and then we wrap this around it. So this one, then now I'll do concat here, and then I'll say all this one is name title. This one is not part of the name. So now we have the data as this. So now the name is coming as one column instead of different columns: first name, last name, and then the title. So we can bring some spacing in between. And then after this one too, there should be some space to make it more understandable. We can have it this way so that you can see there are spaces in it. So let's see. Okay, so now maybe if you want, you can bring comma. Okay, the last name. If you want, you can make that one capital. So you can make that one capital. Okay, so no, I think it's rather this. This is rather out. This is so we have this. What am I doing? Okay, this is another column, so that is fine. That's fine. So let's see this way. So now you can see the name is well formatted. Not the name have problem. Yeah, so this is how like name can look on report. But in the database is something else. It's split into the individual columns, different. But if you want to display it to user, you don't want it separate like this. You want formatting. So this is nice. Now, for example, you have 3, 4, or let's say 5 different reports, and each of these reports, you will need a name. You will need this name this way to display. So what it means is, in each of the 5 separate areas, you need this name formatted this way. You will have to repeat this code. You have to repeat this code. So the concept of view is, now just pretend this one is a table. That's all. And to pretend it's a table, you turn it to a view. Turn it to a view. And to do that, you write create view. It doesn't have to start with V. It's just my convention, so that if you type it anywhere and it begins with V, you know this is a virtual table. So this, I'm going to call it, let's say, employee summary as. That's all. This is just what you have to add to your code to make it a view. Just everything you've done under the select statement is intact. Just come top here and then write this one and then execute it, and that's all. You've created this view. You can run this one as a normal table and it will behave the same way. You get it. Let's see where let's call this E. So where E dot employee ID is equal to 1. That's it. So that is basically what the view is. It's mostly let's say, for example, if you are a data administrator and let's say there are some people based on the data they work on, maybe they are not supposed to see employee salary. Let me see this, if this record has employee salary. Yes, maybe that particularly people don't have to see employee salary. So in that case, but the table has the employee salary. So if you give them access to the table, something like grant, grant select, grant select on employees to let's say grant select to user login TSQL. What I'm trying to write is how to give access. Let's say if you create a login user, after creating, you want to give him access to just this is one table. So if he logs in, he will not see all table or database on your server. That is, the code is something similar to that's what I want to verify. Grant select on the object to user, and that's it. To user, it doesn't have to be in code. Yeah, so that is it. To work this way. So instead of giving the person, if you give him this grant, what it means is he will see all the columns in that table, including the salary. So instead of this one, you just replace it with this view, which in this case he will get he will see only those two columns. Now for example, if he says salary, you don't want him to see, unfortunately that means you have to list the columns. So you have things like e dot let's say employee ID, e dot first name, e dot last name, e dot hire date, e dot birth date, e dot address, e dot city, e dot region, e dot postal code, e dot country. So let's say for which department? Let's say for sales department, this is just the information they want to see about the employee. Let's say if they are customers, this is just the information they want to see. So we just list this one, run your select, it works all right. Then we just come here, create a view, let's say call it let's say sales. So let's say view, sales record. You can call it sales record. So that is it. Why is the underline? Incorrect. Okay, there are some other things. If you are creating view, it should be the only thing in that window. That's what they expect. That's why there's that underlining thing stuff here. But I will highlight only that pattern run. So that is it. So this is it. If I run this, it's created. If you run select here instead of this, if you run this, yeah, so you see the person, whoever will be working on the sales record, will not see the salary. Yeah, boss. Yeah, are they come? Okay. A minute, please. Just check the code and see how it is. There's nothing. So here, instead of they say granting this, you can grant the person this. sorry. So that is the whole thing about the view. For like separating your data, you don't want everybody to see everything. So if you want me to see A, B, C, you can create that one as a view. And then I'll see only that one. There's another use of it. For example, let's see from the table again. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this table is connected to department. It's connected to department D on E dot. Department ID is going to dot. Why is it not? Okay, so we join this to the department. Then at the table we can join to. Okay, so this is it. Let's say, for example, we need E dot employee ID, E dot first name, E dot. Then we have E dot department. What is the department about? That one is D dot name. That's the department. Let's call it department. Sort of name, and then let's see, hire date. So here's the record we need. Department is from different table, and the rest, that's the department table. Then the employee ID, the first name, the last name is also from different table. So this is just joining two tables. There could be a scenario where you join like 3, 4, 5, 6 tables. So, or like if you have so many tables to query, for example, if you have let's say select all from employee, let's say employee, say that one is E, let's say you call it E, then you inner join it, let's say department D on E dot E dot department ID is D dot department ID. Then you inner join to another table again, and then let's say you can call that one faculty. You are faking it. Faculty, let's say F. So that one too on E. That will have been D dot faculty ID dot F dot faculty ID. inner join again to, let's say, college, C on C dot college ID. She's got dot college ID. So you could have it doesn't have an end. You could join so many tables, and anytime you need this data, you still have to join. If 10 or 7 or 5 tables, still have to join them. So you what you can do is you join them and create it as a view. That join you have, you just create it as a view. So anytime you need something from all different tables, you will not use the join again. You still go to that view and use it. So you back to the 2 tables we joined, employee and department. We can just say create view, and then let's say view employee department, and that's how we are calling it. And if you run this one, it's created. So anytime you run this from this, you get columns from 2 different tables, but yeah, you're just using this one as one table. So that is one other way of the view, how helpful it can be. Let's drop it. That's we are deleting it. Drop view. If you say delete, it's like you are deleting the content of what it is. And we've said earlier, you can't use delete on a view. So, but drop erase everything. It will take away this. But if you say, for example, this is a table. If you say delete employee, it will delete the records of the employee. But if you say drop employee, it will delete the table itself. It will delete the data and then delete the table itself. So that's the 2 differences. Now, for example, here you can use view in a view. So instead of this first name, second name, you forgot to bring the either title or courtesy. You forgot to bring it. So what we can do is this one. We have that title of courtesy already here, or like the name. We already have the name in the employee record. So what we can do, the first view we created, we can find them here. If you come here, employee summary, this is it. So what we can do is this one, then we say inner join employee summary. Let's call it S. So we have E dot employee ID is called S dot employee ID. So if connect that view to as a like I said earlier, it behaves just like table, just like you can apply delete, you can apply insert, you can apply update to it. But for select statement, using it in joins and all those things, you can use view. So now instead of bringing all this one, you just put the s dot name. That's all. And if you run this one, you can see we've gotten the full name, the department, and then the hire date. So instead of, like we said, instead of repeating the concat we wrote earlier, this one, trying to format the name again, you can just use that view, and then in place of all this, it will now just be s.name. We are using s because we are calling this one as s, and we know this s to mean it's called alias. So instead of typing here something like this, let's see if there was no alias, there was no this. Instead of typing something here, this dot name, so you just give an alias and then use that alias. So that's it. So if we create this one and then we run select statement, select from here, and that's all. No, this information, this is coming from different table, this is coming from different table. Now this is coming from a view, this is coming from a normal table. But if you and this is coming from a view, this is coming from a department table, and this is coming from employee table. So it's like three things we've combined. Two are real tables, one is fake table, and this is the fake table. And we've seen why we use fake table. So basically that is it for view. All joins you can use, it doesn't matter. Basically, yeah, was it? Which one, please? Senate. Okay. Senate and okay. Okay, you know the dark Senate. Okay. Okay, noted. Well noted. Okay, 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 okay. Sorry for that. So that is it for view. Now let's see. Let's go to another page, and then you look at function. Let's look at function first. Let's look at function first before we go to procedure. This is what I mean by you can insert this. For example, insert into this. The columns are hire date, let's say name, hire date, department, values, let's say test data, let's say that's the name. Higher date, no, it's okay, no problem. So let's say 12 2019. We are not there yet. Today is we are in January 18th. So we have the department to be, let's say department. Yeah, that's my hometown. I'm assuming it's a department. You see, this is what I was talking about. The update or insert of view of function field before it consists a defined or constant field. Yes, you can insert into, you can insert, you can update. For view, you can insert, you can update. Let's see this. Delete from. That's the same thing you can do on view. Update this. Let's say set name is equal to blah blah blah. The same message. So instead update delete, you can't run it on view. You can run select, but you can run select on view. One other thing, let's say for example, let's create the view. Now for example, after creating, if you want to add another column, for example this one we have, select from this, Just if you want to add department ID to this, you just go back to your code and then alter it. That's all. You come back here and then you enter d dot department ID, or let's say even the manager details you can add whichever, but here you just change it to alter. That's all. Then you run this one again. Where does it end? I think it ends here. You run this one again. That's it. So when you select, you will now have the department ID and then the manager's ID. So that is it, how to alter. At least after creating the view, if you want to make changes, that is how you go about it. You just add your changes to the original code. And for example, if let's say the code is not there again, let's say here you want to change it, the simplest way I've found is to come to the view, find that view, right click, go to script and then alter, and then here it will bring the code for you so that you can automatically to bring the word alter for you so that you can make changes to it. The one we just did, refresh, and that's it here. So you right click, you go to view, and then you script the view, script it out, you will get the code, and in that code you can modify. For example, I don't want this one, so I'm taking it out. You can execute it, or you can press F5. So that's it. And when that happens and you run it again, you realize where were we? If you run this one again, you realize that part is off. Yes, the manager something is off. So basically, that is also about alter in terms of view. So the whole, in summary, the whole view is a fake table, or like a virtual table, or like yeah, something like that. Just like we've seen the use, not about the definition, we've seen how the need for it when you have to use it. Now, one other thing we have to look at, the view, the definition, like the way it works. If format is fixed, for example, we have this, or let's create a view for select all from employee history. Let's say employee E, and I join department D on D dot department ID is equal to D dot department ID. Let's see if the code works. First of all, it works alright. Print out the records. Now let's make this one a view. So we have create view, CRPAT. Let's say view. I'll call it full record as. So column name, blah blah blah. Okay, that is the okay. So what will happen is, let's list everything in the employee table. I think that should be something like this, and then this means list everything in the employee table. You know, we should have an E dot first name, E dot last name, E dot title, what, but if you bring star, that means bring everything in that table. And then here we have D dot this, D dot manager, D dot name. So what this message is saying is, if you are creating view, every column should have a name, a unique name, every column. And you realize this record that is coming, this record, there's department ID here, there's department ID, because there are two, because if you select all from employee, you should get department ID. That's it here. And if you select all from department to, that still have department ID. So if you join the two tables, you get two columns. They are all called department ID. That is what the view is saying. It's not allowed. All your columns have to get their unique names. Like, it's behaving like a table in some way. You can't have two columns in table and they all have the same name. It's not allowed. So the view 2 is not allowing you. That's basically what it's saying. So the workaround is to list all of them, and when you get to department name, you can give it another name, or you not list that one at all. So what I have done is to list everything in the employee table, which will bring the employee or department ID, but I don't want to bring the department or department ID. So this is how I go about it. List everything in the employee table, but for the department, list them one by one, and I ignored the D dot department ID. This one I ignore it, so I've taken it out. So hopefully this should work. Yes, you can't say it will not. So now I have this. This is it. This is what I have. Now, a structure, like I was saying earlier, of view is fixed. And what that means is, now, if I go to employee, where is that table? This is it. And I go to definition, or maybe if I even use code, I will say alter. I want to add a column to this table, so I'll say alter employee. Alter table, yeah. Alter table. We'll come back to the function alter table. We have add column. Let's give the name of the column. Let's see, test. It's an integer data type. Something like this. Let's see. Okay, so it's added test. You've add column to the table test. Alternatively, you can right click the table, go to design, scroll down, and then let's say test 2. Maybe integer, and then you save it. Control S. That's so it's created, and if you run it, you should see test 1, test 2. Let's put some default values in it. So you say update table update employee set test is equal to 1 comma test 2 is equal to 2. Let's see, so if you run it, okay, so you have those values in it. Now, if you look at our view, the view is listing everything in the employee table. But let's see if we can get test 1 and test 2. There's no test 1, there's no test 2. So since the view is created, it's fixed. So if you add another column to your table, it doesn't automatically reflect in your view. Though you said list everything, that structure is created at the time you created the view, and it's fixed. So if there's something like that and you still want to get the new ones, you have to go back to alter your view, or like rerun it. So you just say alter and then you run this code again. Haram. So hopefully if we run this one, we should now have the table 1 and then the test 1 and the test 2. So we now have the test 1 and then the test 2. So basically that is it. If you create a view, the structure is fixed. The structure is fixed. You can if you add column, it will not affect it automatically. Let's see if you delete the column 2. Let's see. Alter table employee draw column. What's the name of the column? Let's say test. Cannot find employees. Okay, so select all from employees. Okay, now test 1 is gone. So let's see if small names specified and columns information. I hope we get what this thing is trying to say. That it has more column names specified than the column definition. So that means there is change. Our view, like I said earlier, is created is fixed. So what that fixed definition we have has is test 1. It has test 1. It has test 2. Now you've deleted test 1. It's not that smart to say no. Let me check employee table. It doesn't have the column, the test 1 column again. It can't work that way. So you will have to come back, just alter your table and then run the same code again. Don't make any changes. Now when you run this one, a new definition of the view is created. This should work. So basically these are the behaviors of a table, let's say vis-a-vis views. So that is it for this. I think we can now go to the function I talk of. Like I say, function is what time is it? 12:30. Hope you can do this in less than 45 minutes. So let's see. Function to the same thing. I'll struggle to give a definition, but you see how we can use them. If you come to MySQL, SQL Server, not MySQL, if the table we are working with is nothing. One of the videos I explain how to get this database, and I think I also have it on x3news.com/KMUST. In one of the videos, I think I explain how to get that database. The one I'm using for the code is nothing. It's from I think Microsoft also. You can download them for free online. One of the videos I have the explanation in it, and yeah, you can download it from my site too. Upload them here. If you go to webextremes.com/KNUSD, you get it. You can, yeah, I have some questions and answers to have solved. They are all there. If you want to get this database for the test I'm doing. So now these are tables. We know tables. These are view we've created. Now there's another one here. And programmability, and in that we have procedure and then function, procedure and function. So we are looking at for now we are looking at function, and you can see there are three different functions, the types. There are three different. There is you say aggregate function. Let's see the system functions, and then aggregate functions and the system functions. These are aggregate functions, like sum, like aggregate in mathematics. Let's say in normal English, if you are aggregating something, so like let's say sum, let's say total, let's say group, minimum, maximum. So these are the aggregate functions. So if you want to create something like that, that is what the system one, meaning it came with the software automatically, but these are the ones you, the user, the developer, you will be creating. So let's see this function first. Now let's see, how do you get, let's say, employer one, his salary. Let's say for example, no, not this, MS Paint. You have this, let's say this is your form for data entry, or let's say for reporting, and then somewhere at the corner here the person's salary will be showing. Let's say this is the person's salary. That's so sorry. So let's say this is the form. So how do you get just the person's salary, just his salary? How do you get it so that you can link it to your form this way? So that is what we are looking at. You can, one way is to get it through a function. So let's see. So we have select all from employees. Where no, not all. You see, let's give it an alias. Let's say it's called E. So we have E dot salary. So these are the salaries for all the employees we have. So let's see employee one. So where E dot employee ID is equal to 1. So the first employee, this is his salary. Second employee is picking this. Third one is picking this. Yeah, so fourth employee is picking this. Fourth employee is picking this. This is what 4. Fifth employee is picking this. Now, you see how I'm getting it by changing the IDs. So you realize the code itself doesn't change. It's only this that changes. Everything of here doesn't change. It's only this that changes. Things like this that you want to see, you can use function. And what basically function does is give me something. If you say function brings you something. Let's say typical example, if you tell someone, go get me some pictures, or like go take some pictures, can't give me, you see, he should bring you something, so he should return with something, like go get me pictures. So he should go, whatever he has to do, whether he has to steal it, he has to buy, that detail is not stated, but what we are focusing here is go get me picture and then bring it. So come back with picture, but it's possible he will come back with nothing, that's 0, but come back with something. For example, if I say there's another example, like check if the watch seller is there. Check if the watch seller is there, or like if the food seller is there. Normal ways we make these statements, and it makes sense because the one you told to check is human, so he does additional thinking and knows automatically you want feedback. But ideally, if you consider your statement, you didn't factor feedback. Check if he's there. He'll check he's there. He will not come back and tell you anything because you didn't tell him to come back and tell you something. So in computing, whether in the application side or in the database side, this difference really makes sense, and it split things into two. Whatever you are instructing the computer to do, you need feedback from the computer. Or what you are telling the computer to do, you don't need feedback. Like return with something or don't return. If you go and the watch seller is there, come and tell me. If you go, check whether the watch seller is there. These are two different things. The difference is you want feedback in one, the other you don't want feedback. So in the case of salary, we want the person's results. Take the ID, go check for the person's salary and tell me what the salary is. Now for example, if I say go and change the person's salary from 3,000 to let's say 5,000, that one I don't need any feedback from you. I gave you something, I told you a task you have to go and do. Go and execute that task. Don't come and tell me anything again, just go and do it. But if I say go and get me the person's salary, I need feedback. If I say go and add this record to the data, I don't need any feedback. So you just go and add it. But if I tell you what is the record there, that means go and get me that record, I need feedback. If these two things are not clear, you will not understand the difference between procedure and function. So in the bigger picture, function means respond or like reply, right, or response or feedback. Any instruction you give to the computer that you need feedback, you use function to do. If you don't need feedback, you use procedure to do. That is all. So if I say insert a new record, I've given you an assignment, add one record, I don't need feedback. If I say what is the record there, meaning get it for me, I need something in return. If I say what is the person's salary, what it means is get me something. I just hope I've made sense so far. So we want to get the person's salary, so we need something, we need a feedback, and that is it. So in that case, you will use function. If we come here, how do you create the function? There are different ways. The simplest one is to write, when we're creating view, this one we can create view, let's say create view, let's say employee 5 record as. So if we run this, this will always bring the salary of employee with ID 5. Now what if we need employee of ID 6? We just say 6 and then here will be 6. Now if we create this, yes, this will also always bring employee with ID 6. If you run the two, you see this is the first one, this is the second one. Now what if we need employee with ID 1? So here will be 1, and then this one will be 1. So we'll have it this way. What if we need 2? Here will be 2, here will be 2. So that is it. Then we come this way. Yeah, boss. Boss.
How are you?
They fine. Please, and you? Okay. He just ran. And then they are checking. But that he's also realized Snake and Gods didn't deduct. But I told him I've written that down. He should continue the checking. Okay. 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 Mm. Mm. I've done that one. Hey, then that means I didn't change the amount. Okay, okay. mm. Mm. Okay, okay. Yes, yes. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. Where were we? So sorry for that call, but let's continue. So these are views we are creating, and if you come here, on the view, let's refresh. You see, this is for employee 1, employee 2, employee 3. So anytime you want to see, let's say employee 1, you just select this, you get a person's salary. So that is what basically you link to this place, and it will be showing. If it's second person, let's say this is the person with ID 1, assuming. If you need ID 2, then you have to link to this one, and then if you need ID 3, basically you just be going that way. That is it. So now the challenge is, we have how many records do we have here? We have 10, so that means you need different, like 10 different views for just to get each one's salary. Now alternatively, you can create one structure and just be changing this one, because we know it's only this one that is changing. It's only this one that is changing. So instead of create view, what will have happened is we will say create function. Here is create view, the name of the view. So create function. Let's see this one, and then beginning with F, so that you see its function. Then we have employee salary. This time it covers all, not like specific employee 1, employee 2, employee 3. So we have this one. Then as we have returns. Let's do some small magic here. We explain numeric 99 as begin end. So this is what we want. This is what you're talking about. Have it this way and then this way. So this is the difference. Now if you come here, then you see employee ID int. This is a variable. So here it will be this way. That is all. We've created a view. If you run this, select all from this, then you now put in one. Oh, it's not working, and the reason is simple. You need this. Okay, so that is employee 1. The previous one is this, 600, and this is also 600. Go for 600. So this same thing we use view to achieve. We've used function to achieve, and this is the code. This one is create view employee. This is create function, then the name. But this one takes a parameter. That's the things you need. Go get me this. What do I need to go? Go and get me salary. What do I need to send there? Okay, go with the ID. That is what will help you to get it. So that is that sentence here you've created. And so instead of writing 2 here, you just write this one there, and you end it this way. This is the structure. Like someone would say, you need to bend this into your mind. This is how it works. And the answer we need when bring me watch, bring me Gary, bring me a number. And these are the decimal places. The number can be up to 19 degrees. The 600 is 3 degrees. It can go up to 19, and the decimal places is 9 decimal places. So it can be .01900 something up to 9 decimal places. Of course, if you are presented for reporting, you cut it to 2 decimal places. But in the database, it's good to have up to that maximum size of. I'm not sure it's the maximum, but I think 9 is okay. So that you not be throwing away people points. You have all in the database. So this is it. And the difference here is if you need for staff too, instead of writing all this again to get this, you only change this number to 2. 3-1, that's it, and you are done. it should give the same value. So that is the flexibility with function. It allows you to give parameters to what you want. Let's say, yeah, that's it. The parameter can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 4, it can be 5 different parameters. Let's say instead of the person's staff ID, it could be maybe his date of birth to, like, yeah, something like that. Depending on what you want, that will show your parameters. But basically, this is the whole idea around function. This is the whole idea around function, and what is important is the structure. You have to. This is the normal select code we use. So you have to make sure your select code is working fine first of all, before you come and then wrap around it the structure of the function around it to get what you want. So if you come here and functions, it should be under this. That's it here. That's the one we just created. Now let's ask this: why didn't it go under this and it went here? The reason is simple, and the reason comes under the number of data you are returning, the number of data you want to see. Now, for example, if I say select all from employee, let's say even just the first row, so we say top 1, just want the first row. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are many columns we want to see. It can be many rows too, going down. Or let's say 5. You want to see the top 5, or not all. Let's say first name. You want to see the top 5. First name. So in all cases, you realize what you want to see is many. Is either many in terms of rows or many in terms of columns. So it's basically like a table. What you want to see is like a table, things like rows and column, Excel rows and column. So anytime you want to see, you want to get such information that looks like rows and column, or that displays rows and column. Anytime you want to see a table that displays rows and column, then what should come to your mind is table value function. A function that returns data that appears in tables and columns. But if you just want to see just one value, for example, this one is just one value. It's not in rows, it's not in column, just one value. Then it's called scalar function. It's called scalar function, and the type of function you have to use is a scalar function. That is the difference between here and here. And this one we've said already, that is the aggregate function. Things that sum up your things like count, how many in it, how many, what is the total, and that is the aggregate. And for this and this, that's the difference. The table value, the answer appears like Excel sheet, rows and column. That is how it appears. But for scalar, it returns just one value. But take note, they all return something. They all return something, so they are all functions. So scalar or table value function, they all return data. But for table value function, the data it returns is supposed to be row and columns. That's how it can be just one row. It can be one row with 2 columns. It can be one row with 200 columns. It can be 1,000 rows, but it has to be in that structure. So anytime in your mind you need such a report or such a data that is in Go, not just a single value. What should come to your mind is table value function, and you're using function because you want to get that information. If you just go and do something, go and insert, go and update, you don't need any information again. Of course, sometimes if you insert, you can make it in such a way that you get information because you want to know whether it's successful or not, so that you can do some other things. But in a broader explanation, that's the difference. The procedure will go and do what you want, to not bring you in a value that you can use it for something else. But function will, and to know which function you have to think in your mind, which type of data do I want. If I want a function that will just bring staff ID, then it's just one value. But if I want a function that will bring staff ID and staff name, or employee ID and employee name, that is fitting into the structure of Excel. And what should come to your mind is table value function. So basically, that is it for a function that holds just one value, or like that return just one value. And you've seen the reason why we will use function instead of view. View will not allow you to bring parameters, things like that. View will not allow, but function will allow us. So instead of writing all these view here, all these view, we don't need them again. We'll use this one to replace. And one other thing you have to also look at, if the value you are bringing is just one, if the value you are bringing is just one, that it is a scalar function, you don't bring this thing here. So this one, if you say this, it will not work. Wherever I press, it will not work. So if the value you are returning is just one value, if you bring from, it will not work. So your star and from, or you can't be listing, let's say the columns, it will not work. It has to be just select in the name of the function. This is the schema. You realize it comes after before everything. That's the DBO. So we have to bring the schema, and then so basically this is a scalar function. It's already one, and it will be difficult if we have to go into the table value function. But this is the scalar function. It's a function that returns just one value, and if it returns one value, if you want to select from that function, you don't bring select or from, you just list it. So basically you end it here, and then hopefully after prayers I'll be able to do the table one also. But for now I think we'll end here. We've seen view, we've seen a function. You know what function is. Function basically brings you, go and do a job. After, well, come and give me the results. So take something, go, or just don't go with anything, go but do X and then come back and tell me. You need feedback, that is function. But if the person should do it, you don't need any feedback, then that's procedure you use. So this idea cuts across I think most programming areas, not just relating to database. C# is there, C++ is there, Python is there, all these languages, you find these things there. The concept of procedure and then function, and that is just the difference. If you need results to use somewhere, like maybe tax, you need a tax value to check something, then you can use procedure, because procedure will calculate, but it will not even bring you the answer. So that is the difference. I hope I've been repeating it intentionally so that hopefully that will make it stick. So basically that is it for this one. Hopefully I'll try, and after prayers, I'll continue with the function. By this time, we are going to table valued function. Have a nice day.